Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. As you can see by the title, today we're just going to test out a bunch of affordable / drugstore makeup. I do have a little bit of everything from a lot of different brands, and I figured why not try them out for you guys and let you know if it's worth your coin. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. So let's get started. I didn't call this a full face just because there's a couple products that I'm missing for a full face, but we do have so many products to get through. These videos tend to be a little bit longer because I am explaining and just reviewing so much, so I do like to try to go as fast as possible with each product. Hopefully this video is not, more than 23 minutes. So recently Wet n Wild came out with their Fantasy Makers collection. They did send me their whole collection in a beautiful PR box, and I decided to get some stuff out for this video. A lot of the products are going to be for like FX makeup and creating things like that, but there are a couple of products in the line that are more for like just regular makeup, like everyday makeup, and this stood out to me. This is the Fantasy Makers 10 palette eyeshadow palette, and this one is in the shade Pick Your Poison. They do have a couple different ones. I decided to go with this one just because it is giving me major fall vibes. So I'm gonna go ahead and conceal the eyelids with some concealer, set them, and then we're gonna try this eyeshadow palette out. I know you guys like it when I talk through videos, but since we do have so much to try, I am going to speed up through the eyeshadow palette. Most of the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes are really good. They're very pigmented and blendable. They tend to have a lot of kickbacks, so but that doesn't really bother me. I'm gonna try to use as many shades as I can and let you guys know what I think of this palette. Alrighty guys, I am back. I decided to add some wing liner and mascara. So I think this palette is exactly like the other ones. They're very pigmented, a lot of kickback. I will say some of these shimmer shades, especially the one that I used in the middle, was a little bit crumbly, but great pigment payoff, very inexpensive, and I think that if you like fall colors with a punch, I think you're really gonna like this because you can see a lot of these fall colors are very, very dark or bright, so I think it makes a great palette for the fall. I do wish there was just one like transition shade. You could always just use your bronzer for that, but I did end up having to use this darker shade to blend it all out. I really enjoyed it. I definitely think that if you have your eye on this, you should definitely get it. So we do have two primers to try out. One is from Wet n Wild and one is from Hailey's Beauty. I know it might seem kind of weird that we're trying two primers, but just hear me out. So first we're going to be trying out this one. So this is the Wet n Wild Pumpkin Seed Extract Vitamin C Primer Serum. It does look very luminous, and there's apparently vitamin C. So let's try it out. Let's see what it does to the skin. This is pretty liquidy, so instead of doing the whole Instagram thing, I'm just going to put it on my hand. It smells really good. It definitely doesn't smell like pumpkin, in my opinion. And I have tried some of these Wet n Wild serums before, and these primer serums are usually very liquidy, almost watery, but once you let it sit in the skin, it does become like hydrating and a little bit plumping. If you look very close to it, it almost looks like a luminizing primer serum. I personally don't love a primer that's like very shimmery because it'll just accentuate my pores, but I will say it is making my skin look pretty good. All this fallout that you see is literally just fallout from the eyeshadow, but other than that, It's honestly working exactly like the primer serum, the original primer serum that Wet n Wild always has. This is probably just like a limited edition that looks similar in my opinion, I'm not sure, but I will say it smells really, really good. It's very strong in fragrance, so if you don't like fragrance, definitely don't get it. And it does contain pumpkin seed and vitamin C. If you're into like skincare and makeup at the same time, you might like this. And the skin does feel actually a little bit tacky, so I really, really like that. So while we let this sit, I am gonna go in with another primer. This one's actually from Hailey's Beauty. So this is the Refine Soft Matte Poreless Primer. And on the back, it says all skin types and illuminating, which is very interesting because it's supposed to be a soft matte poreless primer. I'm not sure what's illuminating about it. The only thing I will say, this looks very small. I'm not sure if I got like a travel size. This was sent to me in PR. Usually when I get PR, I get full-size products. I'm not sure if this is full-size or not. This is 7 grams and it's about the size of my hand. So I'm gonna see how well it does at blurring those pores. Oh my God, you have to really, really be careful. I accidentally just squeezed out a bunch of it. It's not like a silicone primer because Hailey's Beauty already has kind of like a pore filling primer that's actually really, really good. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Actually, do you guys see the reflection of the light on this side? Like the pores, and then see how beautiful and blurred that is? It actually looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna put it over here as well. It's a really nice consistency. It's not overly thick, but it's also not liquidy. It feels like it would be hydrating almost. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it doesn't feel drying, at least not yet. And honestly, a little bit goes a long way. I accidentally put out way too much. But here, let me give you guys maybe a little bit more of a close-up. I really wish I didn't have fallout from the glitter, but aside from that, do you see any pores? I don't. So far, those 2 primers I really enjoyed. So while we let this sit just for a second, I did have 2 lip products from Wet n Wild. We have a lip scrub and a lip balm. I'm very excited about these because of the scents. So first we have the Fantasy Makers Wet n Wild Pumpkin Spice Lip Scrub. And we also have the Fantasy Makers Wet n Wild Candy Apple Lip Mask. I love these lip masks, so I'm assuming it's the same formula, and then I think I'm already gonna love it, but I definitely don't know if I have tried the lip scrubs. I'm excited about this one. I'm not gonna lie, not the prettiest looking, but I get it. It's supposed to be like pumpkin. It smells, woo, oh my God. This smells exactly like a pumpkin spice candle. This is what it looks like. I figured we should probably do this so, you know, we could let the lip balm sink in for a little bit before we put any of the lipstick. I don't think it's supposed to be edible, but it feels really good. It does have a little bit of like an orange tint. It's not like too rough or anything. It feels really good so far. Let me go ahead and take off the excess. And my lips do feel nice and exfoliated. So if you want just like the fall vibes lip scrub, these are so inexpensive. You might as well get it, especially because lip scrubs, like, you don't really need to pay a lot for a lip scrub. So I really do like that. And now let's try the Candy Apple. Let's be honest, I already tried it. I'm sorry, I've had this PR for like a week now, and as you can see, I really like it. This smells so good. It smells almost like cherries, I'm not gonna lie, not really candy apple, but I really like it. It has just a tiniest bit of tint, but these lip masks are just really nice. They're very comfortable on the lips, and they nourish. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on while we do the rest of the makeup. I don't have a new foundation or concealer, but I do have a new powder, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply that, and I will be right back. So I applied the foundation. It is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. I did almost forget that Wet n Wild did send me a bunch of different sponges, a bunch of different colors. I decided to go with the black one. I've never seen a black sponge from them, and I will say this feels a lot different than the pink one. I know Wet n Wild has a pink sponge that's very soft, very cushiony. This to me feels a lot more like that purple sponge from e.l.f. And also it reminds me a lot of the Beauty Blender. This one's definitely more porous. I know you can't probably tell from the camera, but I'm excited because I kind of go back and forth. I like those very soft, almost like Tempur-Pedic feeling sponges, but then I also do love a more porous sponge. I don't know, sometimes I feel like it picks up less product. So I did already wet it and kind of took out the excess. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some concealer. Where's my concealer? Let's apply the Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch that I've been loving, and just see how the sponge works out. This is a pretty full coverage concealer. Okay, so let's go ahead and blend this out. I do really like the original Wet n Wild sponge, but I'm glad that they're coming out with more because, you know, I feel like everybody has a little bit of a different preference on the sponges, so I'm glad that they came out with more, and, you know, they're just as affordable. That blended out really nice. I will say it's a little bit denser, but it's definitely not like one of those super dense sponges. So it is a little bit harder to like pinch to get to the inner corner, but I don't know, I kind of like it. I feel like it's making my concealer go a long way because I feel like it's not picking up that much. So I'm gonna blend this out right here, and honestly, it looks really, really good. Really, really good. So a fan of this. Wet n Wild, honestly, they're great. So for powder, I have been seeing everyone and their mother talk about this powder, especially on TikTok. So this is the NYX Professional Makeup Can't Stop, Won't Stop Mattifying Powder. I did get the shade medium. I will say, I don't usually get mattifying powders just because my skin gets mattified with any powder, really. I have normal to dry skin, definitely not like super dry, but I have been on a number 7 powder kick to really blur the pores, and apparently a lot of people say that this is another dupe for that. So I wanted to try it out just to see. I am gonna set my under eyes with this, but I also wanna see if it'll blur over here. I kinda wanna really test this out with you guys. Again, I did get the shade medium, and it doesn't seem like it's very powdery. It kind of is giving me the same vibe already of the number 7 powder. Did you guys see those pores disappear? Look, here's the light on the skin. And here's a light on the skin. Oh my gosh, my pores are literally gone. And I really like this because my brush, even though I went in a couple times, it did not pick up that much product. This is definitely like very hardly pressed, which I really like. It looks really, really nice. This definitely reminds me a lot of the number 7 powder, but I think maybe the difference is, just from first impressions, if you have more oily skin and you want a blurring powder, I think you might like this one just because it is so mattifying. The number 7 blurs just as much, but this is actually called the Lift and Illuminate. I think this would be better for drier skin. So if you're looking for a very blurring powder, just depending on your skin type, I think you're gonna like both of these. I believe they're both around the same price range. This was about $12. A lot of product does not come off, so I do think these would last you for a really long time. So far, I really am loving this powder, and I do think it's worth the hype and worth the price. Okay, so for bronzer, Physicians Formula came out with so many different bronzers. To be honest, my favorite one is this one. So this is the Physicians Formula Butter Coffee Bronzer, and I guess it's in the shade Latte. It seems like the newer one that I'll be using is a little bit of a softer powder. It's not pressed as hard as the original, and maybe it's a little bit more luminous. If you already love your butter bronzer and maybe you just want a different scent, then go ahead and get this one. But I do think if you already have the butter bronzer, I don't think you'd necessarily need these bronzers, but they are just as good. I will say this one, like I said, it is a little bit of a softer powder, so you do have to go in with a little bit of a lighter hand. I have been loving it just because since I do prefer a little bit of a darker bronzer, this one doesn't take as long to build up because so much comes on the brush. But I'm not obsessed with the scent. It does smell just like a very, very sweet coffee. I do prefer the original scent, I'm not gonna lie, but I do like the scent. I mean, it's not bad, but if I had to pick, I would choose the original scent. This is what that bronzer looks like. See how it has just a little bit of luminance? I really do like it. I think if you do try it out, I really think you're gonna enjoy it. Here is the original and here's a butter one. So it has the same undertone. It's not very orangey, it's more like red, but this one is darker. But see how beautiful it looks on the apples of the cheeks? I do think it's really pretty. I do use this one way more now than the original bronzer. But yeah, I do like this and I definitely recommend it. Now for blush, we're gonna be using one of the Fantasy Makers blush, again from Wet n Wild. So this is called the Fantasy Makers blush and this one's in the shade, which shade is this in? Oh, it's in the shade Let's Get Smashed. Interesting. The packaging is really cute. I mean, the imprint is also really cute. It's like a little jack-o'-lantern. This is more similar to pearlescent pink, but this is a matte shade. So if you're looking for that peachy pearlescent pink but fully matte, then you are gonna like this. This is just as pigmented as all the other ones. I believe it's the same formula. It's just a really pretty peachy shade. Like I said, this is what it looks like. It is a little bit lighter, especially for me, but the good thing is that since it is so pigmented, you can definitely build it up very quickly. And I really like it. I think it definitely goes with the fall vibes. Before we move on to highlight and lips and setting spray, I'm gonna go ahead and finish out the under eyes really quickly. I'm gonna use a mixture of the brown, the purple, and the burgundy shade and just smoke that out on my lower lash line. And then I'm just gonna apply some mascara and call it a day. Alrighty, so the eyeshadow is done and I really, really liked it. I really enjoyed this eyeshadow palette. I think this is perfect for fall. So for the inner corner highlight and for the face as well, Wet n Wild again did come out with some new highlighters. So these are just called the Fantasy Maker highlighters. I do have the shade Haunted Hills, which is like the pinky one, and then the shade Hollywood, which is the gold one. I think I'm gonna use the gold one just because this seems a little bit frosty for me, but I'll put this away in a giveaway for you guys. Again, really cute imprint. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there is a little skeleton on it. I will give you guys a quick little swatch. Very pretty. It's definitely more of a pale gold. I know it looks super, super yellow, but it's definitely a pale gold. Let's see, I'm gonna grab a small brush and kind of pack it in my inner corner for a very bright inner corner. I'm not gonna spray it, just to kind of see if it packs the punch. Okay, it's definitely not as bright as I thought it would be, which makes me think I might actually like it more for the face. I'm gonna go ahead and wet the brush just for the inner corner highlight. I do like that to be poppin'. Yeah, it's just not very bright. Like the color itself is not very bright. I think if you have deeper skin tone, this would look beautiful. If you do want something that pops a lot, maybe get the other shade. I'm gonna go in, like I said, with a pretty light hand and just dust off the excess because this is pretty powdery. And I'm just gonna go over the cheekbones. It's really pretty. It's actually very, very pretty. I'm liking this way more than I thought. I really thought it was gonna be like, I don't know, just a little bit more blinding, but this is actually a really pretty consistency. Very, very powdery, but if you take off the excess, it'll give you that glow from within. And this shade's actually really nice. I don't really go for a lot of yellow highlights, but this actually is complementing the look with this little halo shade really, really well. Super, super pretty. I'm definitely a fan. I really do like this way more than I thought I would, so definitely pick this up. I'm gonna quickly set my face before we finish out this look with some lipstick. We have a brand new setting spray from Hailey's Beauty. This is actually, I believe, their first setting spray. This is called the Refresh Ultimate Priming and Setting Spray. So you can use this as a primer. We already had 2 primers to try out, which is why I didn't use it. But yeah, it just says to spray your face with it. It's an ultimate priming and setting spray. Okay, it's supposed to be for all skin types, hydrating, and it is fragrance free. I really, really like the packaging. It feels nice and heavy. It's not the finest mist, but it's also not like a bad mister at all. it looks really nice. I don't have like any blobs on the face or anything like that. And it is drying pretty quickly. And it is adding a little bit of hydration back into the skin, which is actually kind of nice, especially after using that really matte powder. So far so good. First impressions, I do like it. Obviously, I'm going to keep using this and let you guys know. I've been seeing so many people using this lipstick, actually this exact shade, but just this lipstick from Milani. I believe this is like a new formula. I love Milani lipstick, so I'm very excited to try the shade Secret. Packaging, 10 out of 10, and this is the shade. It definitely looks a lot lighter than I thought it would be. Definitely a lot lighter and cooler than I thought it would be, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. I'll be using Gerard Cosmetics Sugar and Spice. I'm gonna try not to fill in my lips because I do want to see the shade of this lipstick, but I am going to go ahead and overline the lips. My lips are nice and moisturized from that lip mask. They feel really, really good. And now I'm gonna apply the lipstick. Oh wow, this is like really, really creamy. I did not expect it to be that creamy. It's very creamy and very comfortable. I will say I was expecting a little bit of a darker pink shade. It's a beautiful shade. To me, it's just a little bit too cool tone and too light. I do think this would look a lot prettier on somebody else. I do like to go a little bit darker with my lip colors, but it is very, very comfortable, very creamy, and it went off so nicely. It glided right on the lips. So I do really like the formula. Like I said, the shade, I mean, this is a stunning nude shade. I mean, I'm not gonna deny it. I just don't think it suits me the best. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe just darken it up a little bit, just to make me feel a little bit more comfortable. I'll be using Sweet Tea by Morphe, and I'm just gonna darken it up a little bit for myself, but so far the formula is really, really nice and rich. Alrighty guys, and this is the final result. I'm sorry if the lighting changed. Obviously on my background, I am filming this in the evening. It is 7 p.m. so it was a lot brighter at first, but this is the final look. I'm actually very surprised. I didn't dislike anything, and if anything, I actually really, really liked everything that I tried. Yeah, all these products are great. Let me know if you've tried any of these products. Let me know what you guys think about it. I really am pretty impressed with this powder. The eyeshadow looks great. I love the sponge. This blush looks beautiful. The highlight, really all these products that I tried, if you have been eyeing them, go ahead and try them just because they are very affordable and they look beautiful. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a tutorial on the new Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette coming this week. I do get that tomorrow, so that will be the next video. If you guys are still watching this video, comment down a little ghost emoji so that I know that you guys are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!